comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blitzen and all his reindeers pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He's got a bag that's filled with toys for boys and girls again. Hear those sleigh bells jingle, jangle, oh, what a beautiful sight. So jump in bed and cover your head, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Hello and welcome back to the season finale of the SRA Grid Report. Bailey, how you doing tonight?
I am honestly doing fantastic. Josh, how are you doing?
I am doing pretty decent, you know. We've gotten through all the trials and tribulations of season 6, and now I can finally stretch the legs and hands and say, "Ow!" but but topping off the show, for once we're actually going to bring up important information at the start of
How
everything.
about that?
Yeah, it's a nice change, you know, one of the few changes we're bringing forward going into season 6 of SRA. But we just want to note, so this is the end of season podcast. We're not going to do anything during the off season, but our first episode back is going to be a live podcast. So the goal here is we're going to do that live on Twitch, interact with you through the Twitch chat, and then hopefully sort out some way to be able to bring some of you guys up on stage with us and bring you directly into the conversation. So don't really know exactly when we're going to do it, but game plan is between the announcement of week 1's track and before the livery reveal stream. So that Thursday, Friday, one of those 2 nights. So keep your eyes on the Discord for an announcement and bring your submissions for drive of the season, because that's one of the things I want to talk about with you guys is, you know, look back over the season and some of those awesome drives that we've seen, some of the big comebacks, some of the big mistakes that have happened, the big tossaways. But yeah, live pod to start off season 2 of the podcast and season 6 of SRA.
Heck yeah. And just to further on that, the drive of the season does not have to be yourself. If it was somebody else you saw that stood out to you or was a big talking point amongst the SRA community, you can go ahead and submit that too if you want. Completely okay. Or it could be yourself if you believe it was really good, which there should be several of those.
Oh yeah, there are countless showings of amazing drives this season. Like, you look at any portion of the grid and somebody made up 5-7 positions. Somebody came back from X amount of damage or Y mistake that they made early in
Yep.
the race. Or so
Yep.
whatever you got, bring it. Because as much as we try to catch it all, we don't. So
Yep, and the viewers and listeners are what keeps us going. We have a lot of people showing us a lot of support lately, and we're super appreciative. So we kind of want to give back to everybody who listens to us, make it interactive, and kind of involve more people if possible.
exactly. So yeah, there's a lot of if, buts, and maybes, but keep your eyes out for the announcement, and we'll try to get that out as soon as possible to everybody. So this week we're gonna have a look back at the finale. We're gonna of season 5. Kailami was quite the week of racing. We're gonna have a look through all of our finalized champions, because our stewards actually pulled their pants up this week and got to it right away, so that we could get some beautiful graphics made up for some deserving champions. And then we're also going to take a look back through the season at you know, some of the races and who won, because people have actually done the great favor of keeping track of the gold and silver winners from each race. So that's something we'll be able to take a look at. And then the upcoming events, other than the live pod, that are going on during the off season. So why don't we start out with the ever classic Division 6?
Oh,
Nate Allen pulls off his goal that he set for himself at the end of the season, which was to actually get 3 wins in a
how
row,
about that?
taking the win here at Kailami with Fiery Henry in second place and Tim Soik in third. Lap 1 was quite crazy for the small grid that they do have over in Division 6, but once the drivers started to get their land legs and throw those sea legs back into the ocean, because they do not belong in a racetrack, uh, they all started to pump in some pretty serious lap times, and some pretty serious battling started to go on. But one thing was for certain: Nate took pole, walked away from everybody at the start, and just took the race by storm. I'm fairly certain when he pitted, he was still in first place.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
just looking at
so
the finishing board here, he won by a minute.
yeah, he won by over a
Wow,
minute and 3 seconds.
that's
So
pretty impressive.
that's somebody I can see making Lucas style jump up possibly 2 divisions this season, because Kailami was quite the shower for pace, and it really does show who's got the mental fortitude to make it through a full hour race as well.
Absolutely, and to do it as successfully as he did is pretty impressive, let alone that factor. His quick, just looking even further, his quickest lap, almost 2 seconds quicker than P2 and P3.
Yeah, that's very fast, and it's actually comparable to Division 5's top three's fastest
Yeah,
laps. Only a couple tenths off of those.
yeah,
So
that's pretty good. It's good to see a lot of people making improvements this season.
yeah, there are people absolutely gunning for improvement
Yes,
from top to bottom in this
for
league.
sure, and it's been showing, especially in these season 6 qualifications.
Oh yeah, there are. You're looking at it and you go, why are there so many colors all over the board?
Exactly. I mean, if you were
And
just
if you,
looking at it, you'd be like, why is there 70 people in the D1 division?
yeah, for real. It's just there's just so much pace split everywhere, and those reference times are going to keep shifting as the off season goes on to try and sort the pace essentially, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. So, because yeah, we can't have 70 people in D1 even if there are 70 people beneath the current D1 grade time.
yeah. I mean, might as
So,
well just call D2 D1.2 because that's basically
mm-hmm,
what it's going to be.
essentially 1.2, 1.3,
Yeah.
1.4, D5, D6.
Yeah, the D5, D6 is where the real racing is going to be.
Exactly, and D5 did another week of showing exactly why they are considered the real racing on Tuesday nights. Thomas Greer taking a very close win in the Aston Martin over Pat Cockcroft in the Porsche, and Eduardo Rodriguez coming home in third place. Um, Hard charging battles up and down this grid from start to finish, and everybody saw it. We saw that all through the 6 divisions, and I think that was partly due to the stints being announced at being at Kailami. Everybody put in that much extra grade of practice for this week, um, unintentionally, I bet.
Hmm.
And yeah, it led to some very good battling, none the doubt. And the one driver that's once again missing from this board is Zitko, and it was actually kind of terrifying to watch his race come to a halt. He was coming up the hill towards turn 10, and we ended up finding out after that his game froze, and
Oh,
he just went full on like foot to the floor, straight through the corner into the wall.
that's unfortunate.
Thank Thankfully the car stayed off the track. It didn't bounce back on like it loves to do.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was very unfortunate. I'm pretty sure at the time he was P3. So it was
that's hard.
once again just points absolutely tore from
Yeah,
him.
that's hard to kind of cope and um, come back from. Like we said in the previous episodes, it's when you qualify that high and you get in an early accident and your morales are low, and you just kind of have like the low will of driving. But yeah,
Exactly.
that's tough.
There was a few other interesting scenarios throughout the race. Just a bunch of eyebrow raise moments, and one of them that we noticed off the start was Ren Aoki had put in quite the decent qualifying, and then we couldn't find his car on the outlap. It turns out that he had to restart his game
Oh,
and ended up starting from the pits, didn't get the car to release, was immediately a couple laps down, had to come into the pits to try and fix something again, get back out. He still, I'm fairly certain he finished the race. He ended up sticking it out, trying to fix stuff, going out and driving when he could, coming back in, but it was brutal. He was one of the drivers that was up there fighting for the top end of the championship here.
hmm, yeah,
And it's hard to see. But the battle for first place did come down to the very end of the race. Pat was slowly inching up on Thomas for, I'd say, the last 10 minutes of the race. And within the last few laps, he was right on his bumper, saving it for the right moment because that speed difference between the Porsche and literally anything else is so apparent at Kailami with that straightaway.
yes.
I, if I remember correctly, it was 6 or 7 kilometers an hour
Wow,
is what the recorded one was in D5.
wow.
So we were under the belief that Pat was waiting till the last lap to make that move because he didn't want to give Thomas a chance to get a run back at him. That Porsche is so fast through the
Yeah,
curves,
it is.
and he just couldn't get it to work. He got a very fast run at a cheetah at the end of the lap, and they ended up drag racing to the line, and that's why you see they are split by 1.5
Wow.
tenths of a
Yeah,
second. So,
that's
uh,
crazy.
pretty
Yeah,
entertaining.
to go all the way to the line like that that's intense
Yeah, D5 once again, like just an just a crew of absolute racers,
for sure.
and that's nothing but it. People, it's just a bunch of people who are dedicated to having having good racing, making good overtakes, and you just see that their skill ramp up over the course of the
Hmm.
season. They're gonna get shot out like a shotgun. And I don't know where half of these guys are gonna end up. I could see some moving up a division, some maybe moving down a division that had the skill but maybe don't have the pace. And just I don't know if many of them are back in D5. I could see them being the championship contenders going into next season.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of movement everywhere up and down the grid. I mean, like with D6, we're going to see a lot of promotions from D6. D5, same situation. D4, same situation. So it's going to be interesting to see these people who won their division, who was winning races, who was up there in pace, where they'll end up and just how much they've been practicing.
Exactly. And only time will tell where everyone can go, but there will be nothing but speculation between then and
Yeah,
now.
and there's a long, it's going to feel like an eternity to figure out where everybody's going to be placed.
Exactly, but it's realistically only 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I think when
you
does
know,
the qualifying end? 8 days?
I am not sure off the top of my head when the qualifying ends, but I know that the classifications are released on January the 30th.
Oh,
So,
okay.
the last Monday of the year.
Yeah, I think there's only 8 more days to get any qualifying stints in. So you haven't done it yet. Go hit it. We're running out of time. I might be wrong. It might be more, might be less.
I'm sorry. I got a pretty urgent text message there. What did you say?
Just talking about the qualifying, and since that happened, I have confirmed that there is 8 days and 3 hours left of qualifying.
Well, mark your calendars,
There you
folks,
go.
because last thing you want to do is say, eh, Mr. Incredible, check your watch. I got time. Then all of a sudden, you don't got any time.
Yeah, so January 30th, the division classifications come out, which is happens to be the exact same day as the end of the qualifying stint. So, yep,
Interesting. So I bet they're gonna close it at like I don't know midnight. Try to or maybe not midnight. Cause I don't know what did they do last
I
year?
don't remember. I thought they closed it like a couple days before and then they came out with it, but
I thought
that's what
so.
I had thought.
Cause usually there is some sorting to go through of
Yeah.
outliers and repeated laps and
Well,
stuff.
then you got to think of what happened last season with the amount that SRA had grown, sorry, at the time. So I mean, they had to identify where these, what was it, over 150 people should be placed.
That is a good point. There are going to be a lot less new drivers to
Yeah,
evaluate, so we shall see.
yeah,
Only time will tell, but keep your eyes on the 30th. Make sure you get your stint in, and we'll see you on the racetrack no matter what division you're
for
in,
sure,
because every division is going to get up on the
for
broadcast,
sure.
whether it's live or recorded and posted afterwards.
And we will be here to talk about it after.
Exactly. Division 4 see, sees Landon Dreves take the win once again. Moira Zuch, a name that I'm not familiar, coming in P2, and Matt Anastasi locking out the Aston Martin Vantage podium in third place. What was D4 like there, Bailey?
D4 was one of the races to watch this week, in my opinion. Landon Dreves, coming into this race was, I believe, somewhere around like 23, 24 points behind Anastasi, who they're in P3. Um, Moira Zuch, one of the more, as you said, unexpected podium finishers here. She's actually been extremely fast all season. She's been in the top 10 almost every race, flirting with the podiums. This race, she comes out, takes pole with a 41-2, I think, which
Wow.
is competitive enough to almost take pole in D2.
Yeah, our poll was like a 41
Yeah.
1. What
Yeah,
the
so she
heck?
came out and was 2 tenths ahead of Landon Dreves in P2. Was able to actually keep Landon Dreves at bay for a lot of the race. She had a hiccup there towards the pit window and went in early, pulled an undercut on Landon Dreves, surprisingly, came out in front of him, and he was generally upset because she was a brick wall, couldn't get past her unless she made a mistake, which was rare, but she ended up actually did making the mistake, and Dreves took advantage of it and walked away. Um, so there's a little backstory to this. Taylor and I in the booth were looking at the website standings, and Anastasi was up by 60 some odd points, I think it was, which was incorrect. So we were automatically assuming that Anastasi's got to finish like top five, and he's good. Um, what we didn't realize is that the actual difference was like 23, 24 points. Um,
Oh,
the ending split to this division, Landon Dreves lost to Anastasi by 1 point. That 1 point was
no
stolen
way.
by Moira Zuch from pole. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. No
Landon
way.
Dreves missed the championship by 2 tenths of a second.
Oh my
Yeah, it was
gosh.
absolutely unreal.
Oh, that's
It's
intense,
it's
man.
crazy. It was super crazy because I'm not sure if Anastasi actually won any races. He was just consistently up there. Actually, I think he won one or two of them. But yeah, Anastasi was up there for every race, and Landon Dreves had like two bad races, but he won the rest.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's just
it's
wow. That there's only one driver I know of that's done that before, and that's Doug.
yeah,
So,
it's kind of it was an unreal ending. We didn't know until we pulled Dreves up for the interview and asked where Anastasi finished. And we're like P3, and he was so devastated. He was so upset. He's like, he's like, if they finish P4, I was good, or the pole. And we're like, but we thought the gap was like 60 some odd points. And he goes, no, it was like 24. And we're like, oh my
oh,
gosh. So yeah, it was
no way.
Moira's pole that lost it.
That is
Yeah, it
crazy.
was actually an unreal race, and Dreves and Zuch were together the entire race, and Anastasi did just enough, starting from I think it was P6. So yeah,
Jeez.
crazy
Well, it
crazy
sounds like
race.
D4 is the race I'm going to be watching back
Yeah,
tonight.
it was very entertaining, and then you can hear me and Taylor talking about false information the entire time.
If we're not talking about falsities, what are we doing in the broadcast?
Exactly. We're here to entertain.
Division 3. Gareth Sykes continues the string of Astons, takes the win. Kelvin Lau taking second place in the Porsche. And Jared Seckham taking third place, rounding out, I believe, almost every single race on the podium. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, just a consistent season from him as
For
well.
sure. I think that team, Jared Succum's team, won the team championship, if I'm not correct. If I'm Can't remember.
I do not remember off the top of my head, but
Yeah,
we'll both get refreshed after we finish the
there
divisions,
we
and
go.
I'll make sure I get those graphics pulled
For
up.
sure. But yeah, I
But
just watched back this race. Um,
okay.
Gareth Sykes, if you're listening to this, you don't belong in D3, my friend. We're gonna see you in at least D2 next season.
Oh, I was gonna say like should I be cutting this part
Oh,
of the
you think I was
podcast
outing him?
out?
No, 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 no. No,
Yeah,
no,
like
no. That was more of a congratulations in a way,
oh wow.
as takes pole by 6/10 of a second,
Oh
and is
wow.
took pole quicker than the D2 pole time was. Yeah.
Wow.
So
You th
Gareth Sykes coming with a 41.120.
Wait a minute. So are you telling me that Moira and Gareth are gonna end up in D2?
Potentially. I'm not going to say yes or no to
Cause
that, but
like,
potentially.
cause like, holy
Yeah.
man, that is
Yeah.
fast.
It's very fast, and yeah. I mean, that's it's not just those two. It's SRA wide. There's people all over SRA doing this.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of outliers popping up, and I say outliers just as in like, I didn't know you were this fast. I
Exactly.
didn't know you were this
From out of
fast.
nowhere. Randy
I
Orton.
guess you could say slithering in. Watch out, watch out. Oh, down the inside.
Oh gosh.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
but yeah, Gareth Sykes took pole, fastest lap, and won the race as if there was no other cars on track. So yeah, there wasn't much happening. They definitely had a rough first couple of turns. In my notes here, I think it was the first 4 or 5 corners. Almost 5.5 cars, maybe I think it was, were spun.
I'm curious to see how half a car was spun.
Like it's like a half spin,
Hmm.
you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
what
yeah,
you're saying.
half a spin.
Gotcha.
But I mean, Gareth Sykes pulling almost a second a lap. Um, but what I did notice was I was just watching a little bit of the timings. There was a 7 car battle for P6 from P6 to P13. Um, I don't remember who was leading the train, but everybody behind him was within like a second to 5/10 of each other for
Oh wow.
20-25 minutes.
That is hard. It's hard to drive even for a couple laps
Yes,
being close to somebody on this
yes,
track.
for sure. I can attest to that myself. It's very hard to follow people, especially this track, especially with there's a lot of I feel blind corners. Turn 10 specifically, even cheetah's kind of tough to follow through.
Yes.
But
It's hard enough to hit that corner when it's wide
for
open.
sure, and to have 7 cars go at it for 20 minutes that close to each other is speaks for itself, shall we say?
No doubt. No doubt. Big cap off to Division 3, especially those 7
For
cars.
sure.
Division 2. Mr. Jeffries taking the win and securing the championship in P1. Dan CRAN coming home P2 in the Lexus, and Al Latufo in P3 with the Porsche. My notes on D2 are very small,
Yeah,
and just 60 minutes of sniffing bumpers, self-inflicted wounds at Cheetah, and close battling. And I don't really think there's any other way to put it.
no, that was about it. D2 was kind of a snooze fest. The people who practiced and hot lapped were gone completely. Then you had Michael Jeffries doing Michael Jeffries things.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's about it.
yeah, it was yeah, kind of uneventful, but in the sense that like there wasn't a lot of crashing or BS. Like there was a lot of very close trails, just like the D3 race. But to pick out what positions they were, it'd be like half the
For
grid.
sure.
And those battles were lasting for 10 to 20 minutes at a
Yeah,
time.
and then there'd be a small break, and then it would pick right back up again.
Yeah, the pit window shook things up, but not entirely.
No, only for about 10 minutes. But
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, shout out Michael Jeffries. Congrats on the win, my
Yep.
friend. Go back to D1 where you belong.
Mr. Jeffries coming in clutch and taking the win.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if he's gonna end up back in D1 because, like, was he really that dominant this season?
Uh,
I thought Kevin was more dominant. It's scary.
Kovac?
Yeah, in the last few races with that Porsche,
Yeah.
it's just every week it seemed like Kevin's gonna be the
I
marker.
definitely noticed that more towards the end of the season, but I felt like Jeffries was there for every race. He was near the top five, or in the top five, or on top of the podium, or in the podium. And I mean, his points show, and it's the reason why he won the championship. I mean, it was close. It was a
Yeah,
close battle. It wasn't. It wasn't decided till the very last race. So
that is true. That is true, and it seemed to be the case for all the championships except for D1.
yeah,
But
yeah, for sure.
I'm just excited to see the Coach Jeffries Academy shoey.
Yeah, this it might be an entertaining one, but I don't. It's gonna. I think it's gonna be hard topping Austin Sawyer's Shoey from season 3.
Oh, I do not think that is
No.
possible. That the booty is at the top
Yeah,
of the
with
SRA
the top off
pyramid.
of the Fosters. Oh gosh.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
that goes on
still gets me
the
just thinking about
SRA
it.
iconic shelf.
Yeah, which is right next to the SRA garbage bin where mine sits. A guy standing in his garage.
Hey, not everybody can do a perfect shoey.
No, but we can all aspire to,
Exactly. We can all aspire to win something.
and everybody can aspire to be Ryan Yee. That's for
What a
sure,
segue.
because
What a
he took
segue.
another win. Thanks, thanks, sir.
I saw that coming from a mile away.
Yeah, but he just lobbed it. He
Yeah.
lobbed it right down the middle and struck it to center field.
Oh gosh.
Ryan takes the win once again in Division One. Travis Nordstrom taking P2 in the Porsche, and Diego Paul Fimbres Casas reining that Audi in to finally listen to him, and coming home in third place.
Yeah, whatever he did for
Um,
that with that audio to listen to him, I would love to know what he did. To be perfectly honest with you, um,
as long as the answer is not spam gifs in the general chat,
I don't.
because I don't think we need more people
It
doing
might be
that.
the answer, but I don't know if you watched any of this race.
I did not.
Um, yeah, interesting lap one. Spengler on pole by not much, pretty close. Ends up getting a drive through on the start for either too fast, out of position, one of the two. I don't know. So Spengler, who I probably would have bet money on winning the race if he didn't get the drive through, takes the drive through in the first lap, and Fimbres Casas, I believe, started P4 and was P1
Wow.
after Spengler pit. So Fimbres Casas led the race all the way up to the pit window. But in Ryan Yee fashion, Ryan Yee pulls a double undercut on Travis Nordstrom and Fimbres Casas and is in the lead by the end of the pit window. Yeah.
Wow. That's some
Yeah,
pace. You need a big advantage to do
it
that.
was unreal, and I think Travis to Fimbres Casas before they pit was only about 2 seconds. So Ryan Yee found pace out of nowhere. He qualified, I think, P5 it was. And yeah,
Okay.
P5, I believe. So I don't know if he just didn't get a lot of practice here. He was struggling with the quality pace, but whatever he was missing, he found in the race there, and just showed why he was the D1 champion this season.
That is for sure. And reminds everybody why he is also the number one rated driver on the SR rating board.
Yeah.
No matter how many races he's got under his belt. I mean, if he's got to do that 40 times to prove it to somebody, I'm sure he will.
Oh, for sure. And I don't think anybody has to ask him that.
No,
But the
that is for
yeah,
certain.
the one thing I do want to say is D1 got a lot of stick this season for being rough. They had a lot of penalties early in the season. They finished off this race 0 penalties. The first lap might have been, I think it was definitely the cleanest SRA wide.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
so there's mostly self-inflicting wounds. Just like Cheetah, for example. If you thought Cheetah was hard, don't worry, the D1s are doing it too. Just kind of shows how difficult that corner is. Could be the hardest corner in the game, in my opinion.
It is definitely one of them. No matter how much muscle memory you have, how many laps you've done, it's still a blind uphill right-hander with a sausage the size of a tire inside the
Yeah,
corner.
for sure. And I'd put that up there with turn 6 at Laguna Seca, in my opinion. Those are the two
Oh,
hardest corners that I can think of at the top of my head.
yeah, I'm right there with you. I can't think of any others at this
Yeah,
time.
just because they'll both kill you if you hit it wrong. Small margin of
Yeah,
error.
small, as small as it can
Yeah,
be. And I mean, I guess you could include any of the British DLC tracks
yeah.
because they're all just painful.
Especially Snetterton. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
just a big fat no from me.
Let's just have all of them next season because of what we just did.
No, don't do it. So now let's move over and take a look at some of our champions here. We've got some beautiful graphics made up by our in-house graphics team. And we're also going to get the opportunity to see the other half of the division splits. Now, our website unfortunately doesn't do the best job of tracking it, but we do split all the divisions into gold and silver. So, top and bottom half of the division, I guess you could say, but I believe it's only the top 20 drivers make gold, and that would make the other 30 drivers silver. It's I don't believe it's split evenly,
No, I
but
think you're correct with what you got. And then we usually see a drop in attendees in the race. Just some people don't enjoy themselves in the game or in their where they're placed, and we see people, a couple people leave. But yeah, that is the way they start the season.
yeah, it's fortunately one of those things. You know, you can't make it to all the races, but yeah, these graphics are going to help us be able to see how some of the silver top end did throughout the season, because you know I can't unfortunately can't keep track of it all in my little notebook. I only got so many pages. But as we know, Ryan Yee took D1 gold, and we see Koa Dromo taking the D1 silver championship. Now, I didn't. D1 was a division I didn't watch too many races of this season, but Koa is someone I have driven around a lot. He didn't have the easiest season for himself, but it seems that he did pull out enough to grab himself the championship.
For sure. And Koadromo is no he does not hide. He's everybody knows who Koa is. He's a great driver. He's quick. Um, so to win silver, I think, is a huge achievement. I personally think he should be in gold because he's very fast. In every race in, he smokes me. So I think he's at least well earned silver champion here.
No doubt about that one. I've seen some people refer to the gold as the winning the division and the silver as the fighting for the best of the rest. So, cap off to you, Koa. You are the best of the rest. D2 saw Michael Jeffries, as we know. Look at that beautiful Badman's
Look at
car.
that car.
It's we saw a lot of that livery this season on a bunch of different cars, but that Aston was wrecking havoc on Division 2, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. That Aston livery was everywhere. Even I mean, we saw some Hondas with it. I mean, couldn't miss that one.
No, yeah, the Hondas were all over the place too. And the silver champion, I believe somebody we saw on the podium a few times and in the finale, Dan CRAN. That Lexus was a beautiful car this season as
Yeah,
well.
Dan
And
Cran's one guy to talk about. I think he actually started the season in D3.
I believe
Yeah,
so.
got moved up to D2, and I feel as of lately has really stepped up the pace. He's really put that Lexus on a pedestal. I know a lot of people that are going to the Lexus next season just because he's done a lot for he's really shown what the Lexus can do. But not just him. I mean, you got the Love of Lexus team. They've been putting it out there, and Dan Cran's really been putting the name out there, putting the Lexus name out there. So Dan Cran is going to be one to watch next season for sure.
No doubt, I can see him definitely taking a big stab at the D2 Gold Championship if he doesn't find himself in
Yes,
D1.
for sure.
Jared Seckham coming home with that D3 championship. And this is also nice because those who don't get to see the broadcast, we get to actually see what these lovely champions decided to paint their cars with, and that screams true BMW to
I
me.
agree. The blue, the white. What more could you ask for?
The big stripes. I don't know. He got the championship, so can't be too much more he could want.
No, for sure.
And Rafael Astolfo, someone out of the silver class that again we saw on the podium every once in a while, making that McLaren known, and definitely stealing a lot of camera time in the
For
streams.
sure. I mean, that's a beautiful looking livery. Uh, just kind of overall speaking, I know a lot of the McLarens had issues this season with finding pace that they had last season. A lot of the tracks were not very McLaren heavy, so those guys were really having to get the most out of the car as possible.
Yeah, there was, like you said, that was definitely the consensus across the league. Not too many McLaren drivers were content with where they ended up having to drive this season, but hey, you picked the car, so.
Exactly.
And Raphael proved him and said, I can do it, so can you. Division 4 sees a very interesting Red Bull Matt Anastasi take that gold championship. And the silver side of things goes to his teammate actually in Johnny Air.
Yeah. Their liveries were so they're identical, but they're just color changed, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, so such a simple way to change things up, but what a stark difference between those two liveries. Like, both.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely stood out on track, you know who was who. And they both took home the team championship together, so kind of a clean sweep of D4.
No doubt, no doubt. A lot less of those this season than there were last
Yeah.
season. Division 5's Jacob Zitko. Have I been calling him Jared all season? I feel like an
I
asshole.
don't remember.
Jacob, I'm sorry. But great job on the championship there on the gold side of things. And in the silver side, saw Cube Master, somebody who, if he didn't know the gold and silver splits, would have just thought was another gold driver. He spent almost the entire season inside the top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, we Cubemaster is the new GRR signing this season. Cubemaster, well done, my friend. And looking to see what you can do next season.
Oh, okay, okay. We're plugging conglomerates already.
Yes,
Okay,
brother. Yes,
okay.
brother.
All
Somebody's got
all
to.
right, brother. Okay, brother. And in Division 6, didn't have enough drivers to split the field, so they competed under one banner. And Fari Henry of the Badmans, overarching fucking everybody, won Division 6. He spent a lot of time at the front of that pack. I mean, again, there weren't too many cars, but every race he was up in the front, up in the top three, up in the top three. We also have our team championship graphics. Now, these didn't account for gold and silver. These were just overall team champions. So I believe there were some mixed teams who did win as well. It wasn't all pure golds, as you would probably assume. But Ryan Yee and his teammate Jeff Spangler taking the Division 1 championship. We don't need to tell you again how dominant those two were.
Yeah, that seems kind of like an illegal team. A little too pacey for my likings.
Yeah, so we might see a new addendum to the SRA rulebook, which says something about Ryan Yee and Jeff teaming up.
Ryan E could probably carry a
But
team by himself.
yeah, no doubt. But Madhouse Racing, well
Yeah,
done for Division
well
1.
done, boys.
Badman's AMR of Michael Jeffries and Eric Boardman taking the Division 2 team championship. And again, don't need to tell you how dominant those two
Yeah,
were. Eric, if even though we only go over the top 3, if you watch the broadcasts at all this season, Eric was all over the top half of the grid. Similar to Fari, who took that Division 6 championship, but Eric crossed some bad luck in his own personal side, but still gave enough to help Michael bring home that championship.
yeah, those two were very tough to compete against. I mean, Taylor and I went at them for maybe 7 weeks of the season, and they are just tough. They're fast. They're competitive. They're consistent. So I mean, well earned, and yeah, another illegal team in my opinion. But we move on.
Everything's illegal because they're not in your conglomerate,
Should
right?
be, but money
There
talks.
you go. Money does talk, but I ain't paying.
Nope. Okay, I might. We'll see.
Oh,
We'll see how
okay.
much a championship costs.
At least $4.
Oh shoot.
Division 3, Jared Seckham and Max Diggs. Those beamers were all over our talking points all
Yeah,
season.
yeah. I believe they had won the championship by week 5.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. They were 400 points ahead.
Almost 500.
Yeah, talk about a
Yeah,
write-off.
unreal.
Well done, boys. World Infamous Racing. I would call that an illegal team just by the points gap, but hey, you know,
I mean,
do what
you
you
got
will.
these two. You got Gareth Sykes in there that's been sneaky quick lately. So D3's got some sleepers.
Yeah, and I'm not looking forward to them biting at my heels in
Now,
D2.
just look what Dan CRAN did.
Exactly. Division 4. Do you see the trend? It's all the guys we've already seen. Matt Anastasi and Johnny Air taking home the Division 4 championship. And yeah, just very strong performance and some great cars to go with it. Johnny, I don't think we ever saw up at the top in the podium side of things,
He was
but
close
Matt
a lot of the races,
Matt definitely did help bolster their team towards that championship
for
victory.
sure.
Division 5, Jacob Zitko and his teammate Joe Shabadoo of the Lightning Sharks, not to be confused with the artist himself, Land Shark. And last but definitely not least, Division 6 is Fari Henry and Anthony Calvi of Badminton's Intergalactic.
That's
And that's another slept on
that's what I
livery.
was gonna say. That's a really good looking one too.
There was that's one thing is this league has brought some great racers and also some absolutely phenomenal liveries along with it.
Yeah, and I mean, we got more than just liveries. We've got logos, we've got designs, we've got everything. We've got edits. I mean, not just racing, but I mean, we got a lot of creative right brainers here as well. And I mean, all over the Discord, we got people posting highlight videos. We got people posting teasers. I know Aiden Grover is making a kind of like a Drive to Survive thing um, with the Lambo, but he's been posting a couple of teaser videos about it. So that's actually really cool. I mean, everybody's got something, I feel,
Yeah, there are just heaps and mounds of creative people over
for
here,
sure.
and like look at those graphics for example. They just keep getting better every single
Yep.
season.
I mean, I'm down to call it a year. I keep doing it too.
As am I. It feels like a
Yeah.
year,
But if we went off of years, we'd be in, shoot, 2028 by now.
honestly. I'm an old
Oh
man.
no.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Oh
Not my
yeah.
petunias.
Not my petunias.
Oh, we just lost like 16 new listeners.
That's a shame because we're about to talk about the Transatlantic Cup.
Oh, round 2.
Round 2, that is correct. Round 2 actually happened 6 hours ago. And Brands Hatch went a lot smoother than Laguna went. Everybody was really aided by the fact that they could see where they were going.
Yes.
But there was still a lot of carnage on lap 1, as you can see by this picture to my left.
Yep.
This is turn 2.
Yep.
Myself and Bailey in the middle there doing a little cha-cha slide, trying to get out of it. Bailey, I don't think you
No,
will.
I got the short end of the stick on this one. I ended up sideways on both rounds in the first lap. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, unluckily for me, um, not not the best of luck for these two races for myself. I don't know about yourself, but it was rough, shall we say?
That's a damn shame, man.
Yeah,
I was hoping you could qualify next to me and come with me through the field.
I could only do one at
Like
a
I
time.
didn't
Yeah,
one at a time.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fair enough. It is a lot to
yeah.
ask. But I did have a decent decent qualifying. Horrible start to the race. After gaining a bunch of positions, just what did I do? I was sitting in the chat, in the general with everybody, and I was talking with, I think it was Ryan Yee, and he asked me a question, and silly me, at that fast right-hander, right as I went to hit my brakes, I looked in my mirror.
Oh.
For some reason, I guess I was looking for the car behind me, and just did the old left wheels in the grass straight on. Thankfully, kept it out of the wall, but that kind of set me back a bunch, and then just tried to charge back through the field.
Was this the corner at the top of the hill? I don't remember the corner numbers. Or the one after that. There's a lot of fast right-handers because there's only 3 left-handers and the rest are right. So
fair enough.
so
You know where the big Lance Stroll crash happened?
yes, I think so.
Okay, then the next corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one's tough when you
Yeah.
look away. I understand.
Yeah. And I don't know what my problem is, but you know, self-inflicted wounds.
I mean, I probably would have been flustered too if Ryan Need actually talked to me.
I was just like, what?
Bro,
Who
me?
is this?
You're talking to
You
me?
exist? Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
For real.
Yeah, I
No, but
struggled with the Porsche, shall we say?
I would think so.
Yeah.
How much practice have you been able to get in that car?
I've actually been doing quite a bit of driving in this car. Brands Hatch, not so much. I think the last 2 days I've been practicing quite a bit, but it's just learning a new car. I didn't really know the Brands Hatch on this game very much, so I was learning a new car and a new track at the same time. Kind of a rough combo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big learning curve, but I mean, you tackled it pretty damn well, because you didn't finish last.
I did not, but damn near it. Very close to it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
But all in all, that was 2 races of a lot of fun. It was cool to race with. I call them a different class of driver, in the sense that, like, there is a stark difference on track between North American drivers and non-North American drivers. And it just seems like it's so much more in their blood. It's so much more natural to them.
Yeah.
Just a lot more confidence on the track.
For sure.
And it was cool to try and race around different people, meeting all these new people.
Yeah, it was a unique event in the fact that it was like a team battle kind of thing, in a larger scale compared to what SRA does. I mean, you had the big 2 teams. I know I was letting a lot of our fast guys go. I was utilizing the blue flag timing, like the entire lap to let the blue flag through. So anything I could do, if I knew some of our teammates were catching me, were quicker than me, I wouldn't get in their way, as hopefully they can peel the points back that I was not able to bring back. So definitely a different style of racing that is pretty fun, in my opinion.
No doubt. And it birthed some pretty damn cool liveries as well.
For sure, yeah. Definitely cool to see the 2 different liveries. I mean, there was a couple other of solo liveries, but just kind of you can identify from a distance like who's on what team. So
yeah, for real. At least they stuck with the same color scheme.
for sure, yeah. But yeah, all in all, really good one. If you want to go back and watch round 2, I know it is on ONID's Twitch. I believe it is somewhere on their Discord. Not entirely sure, but it is on Twitch. So just go to Twitch and go to the ONID page, and you can watch the VOD for that.
That's awesome. I think I'm gonna go back and watch that, because my perspective wasn't fun, but I want to see how the rest of the race panned out, because it sounded like it was fun for some of the other guys that were in the voice channel.
For sure, and we had Jerry Finkel up there representing us on the commentating booth as well. So go give him a listen.
Oh, now I'm definitely going to watch
For sure, Jerry Finkel is a character and a personality to listen to. So highly recommend it.
Yes. As do I. But as that event's over, I mean, I hope we get more things like this in the future. But it's also nice that another thing I can just kind of breathe and relax from, because I was trying. It's a lot to practice for the GT3 and for that and for other events and whatnot. Like the other event we have going on that we're going to touch on in a minute. I expected you to say something
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't know what to
that's okay.
say. Yeah?
I didn't mean to fill the air with me hitting a
Let
vape.
your rip.
Yeah. Oh well. You know, that's the SRA Grid Report
Yeah.
for you right there in a nutshell.
Hey, Josh, what is the upcoming event?
Well, the upcoming event is a little mock race that we're going to be running of the, where did I put it here? I scrolled right past it. Of the 24 hours of Rolex. It's going to be a 1 hour race on the Daytona Infield course. We're going to do some multi-class. This is on Assetto Corsa 1 before you get confused. Using some GTE, LMP2, and LMDH cars. And yeah, we're going to see how this goes, see how everybody likes it, and hopefully going to aim to, I think we mentioned this on the last podcast, follow the WEC series and do a little 1 hour race through the year as they go to the different tracks.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you going to
So
participate for this one?
I am going to drive the GTE series Corvette
Oh, there you
because I
go.
love me a Corvette race car and I'm not missing this opportunity.
Yeah, I just downloaded AC the other day. I have 0 hours, 0 minutes in the game, but we'll see. I might dabble as well. If I do anything, it'll probably be the GTE as well. Probably get
Yeah,
walked on
those cars are a lot of fun.
for sure.
That is for sure. But that race is going to be this upcoming Tuesday at 9 o'clock, the usual race night schedule. I don't think it's being broadcast at all because I don't know if there's any spectator function in that game
Yeah, I haven't seen
or
anything
how well it
posted
works, but
about the commentators, but I don't believe there will be anything. Fortunately, so
I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people within the Discord that'll be streaming their own perspectives and stuff, like to their personal Twitches.
yep,
So just keep your eye on the self promo channel around 9 o'clock on Tuesday, and you'll probably see some people streaming.
for sure. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a fun event. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. So if you have any interest in that, go ahead and sign up for it as well. Just got to go get the Assetto Corsa roll, and you'll see all of it.
That is correct. And also coming up, we have what I'm calling the Week of Revelation, the Week of Learning. Monday the 30th, as we mentioned, the classifications are going to be coming out for all of the drivers. Wednesday the 1st, Week 1 Track 1 is going to be revealed. And Saturday the 4th is everybody's favorite, the annual livery track shoey reveal stream, where we get to see who submitted their shoey, who's got a cool livery, and who did not submit their shoey and is going to get banned. It's their favorite joke.
It is. Sometimes nobody
I'm
knows if
still
they're
wait-
joking.
I'm still waiting to see somebody challenge it.
I am too. Who's got the balls?
Jeffries.
Potentially. I don't know. I think he's going to come out with a
Oh,
banger. Would be my guess.
more than
And
likely. It's going to be on the website.
yeah, yeah. I would expect him to do nothing less of maximum effort ever.
That is true. But I also could see him sticking it to the man and saying, "Nah."
I could too, as he's is forming his own conglomerate. So.
Hey man, takes one to know
Yep.
one. That's all I'm gonna
There you
say.
go. Couldn't be me.
I guess couldn't be you. Then who?
I don't know. Slowly transitioning. One thing I do want to talk about is that this week there was a announcement given out that the track one, race one for season 6 has been secretly revealed in a couple of hints across the Discord, across the website. Um, we have some serious detectives in SRA.
Yeah, there's an entire thread now in the
Yeah,
Discord completely committed to people pulling tinfoil hats onto their head that are 7 sizes too small. Um, do you know the track?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I know the track.
Okay.
But
Well, we'll also. Yeah, go ahead.
um, I think somebody figured out what the track was in less than an hour.
I believe there was one person who hit it, but I think the total count is still only at like
It's
3.
less than 10. I think it's up at 8 now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's to me it's very surprising that it's that small of a number.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people with guesses, but none of them have been right.
Ah, so you do know.
I don't know. No, they've been told it's not right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good
No,
cover.
they've been told it's not right. I've seen a lot of spa guesses. I've seen a lot of Zandvoort guesses. I've seen a couple people guess Laguna Seca, Kyalami, but I've actually don't know the answer.
Well, in that case, what is your guess, Bailey? Where do you think we're going for week 1?
We're going to England somewhere, would be my guess.
England
Yeah,
somewhere.
somewhere in the
Okay,
UK.
one of those shitty small
Yeah, that would
tracks.
just be my guess. I just think the odds are there. More tracks there.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough.
what about yourself?
I gotta I gotta say, I don't know if you saw, I put my prediction into that thread, and a couple people liked it, but I don't know.
Oh, I think I do
So
remember this.
so Tyler loves to plan around F1, and the F1 calendar just got announced. 23 races, no replacement for China. So since there's no F1 going on yet, Tyler's gonna play tribute to China by going as close to China as we can and starting the season again in Japan at Suzuka.
Now that would be big brain.
So, I mean, it could be big brain, but it might be big because it's swollen,
It could be.
fell down the stairs.
It could be.
But I don't know. I guess we'll find out on Wednesday the 1st.
Yeah. I mean, unless it gets leaked.
Amen. It could.
Yeah. So those of you who
I
are
wouldn't doubt that.
slandering the Bendy Brew name, those of you who are slandering the GRR name, I have nothing to do with it.
I don't think anybody's slandering the Bendy Brew
There
name.
was. I got tagged. People were saying that Bendy Brew money was behind it. That Bendy Brew knows the answer.
Ben Bendy Brew just might know the answer.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Bendy Brew is holding the secret. Just throwing you guys right under the
Yeah,
bus. Doing burnouts on top of you.
that's okay. We'll see what happens in week 1.
We will all see what happens in week 1. But for now, it's been quite the cool season. You know, getting this podcast started, getting the, I guess you could say, the attention that we have, the viewers that we've been getting, having the guests on, having this experience. It's been pretty awesome. I look forward to season 2.
Me too. Got a lot coming up. I know we've been working behind the scenes of improving this, going live, obviously. So yeah, gonna be looking to have an equal, if not more exciting season 2.
No doubt. So, from all of us over here, and by all of us, I mean extended from Lucas and from those who help in the background with graphics and videos, it has been a pleasure making this for the season, and we look forward to seeing you on the live show.
Goodbye, everybody.